Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video. And to talk about this possible rumor that's going around that, there was news that came out, I guess, from some of the damn dirt sheets. Which, again, if you don't want to know, well, then you really shouldn't be watching this video to begin with. But I'm going to talk about it anyways. So... The dirt sheets, I think it was PW Insider that reported it. Surprisingly, not Dave Melcher, because we all know if he reports it, it's fucking bullshit, since he's doesn't know anything of what he's talking about. But anyways, PW Insiders first reported it today, I believe it was today, that CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns will be facing each other in a triple threat match at WrestleMania in a non-title match. And I really chuckled at this, at the idea of this being the goddamn match that Punk has. Because it's not going to happen, and if it does, then I think we really need to start reevaluating Triple H's booking stance. Because this just does not make sense. CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns in a non-title match at WrestleMania, rather than have Punk in the main event. When the story has been for a year that Punk wants to main event WrestleMania. That has been the story that they have been telling this entire time. But instead, we're going to do a random triple threat that does not go for the championship. Okay, at WrestleMania. That makes no goddamn sense. It's stupid. It's flat out stupid. Now, of course, Jey Uso won, so at the Royal Rumble, which again was stupid. Not because Jey Uso won, but because it made no sense. And literally, people are starting to see it now too. People are literally starting to see what I already talked about the day after the Rumble, of how Jey Uso winning the Rumble made no sense. Okay? Yes, he's a new guy. But that's just because you're a new guy doesn't mean that winning the Royal Rumble instantly elevates you right away. Especially if you're not actually really main eventing. Because now there's rumors going around that people are reporting that Jey Uso is going to WrestleMania to fight for the title against Gunther, but he might not main event, like one of the two last matches. Now, of course, this isn't unprecedented because there were multiple WrestleManias where the Royal Rumble didn't main event WrestleMania. So it's not like this is that deep. Rey Mysterio didn't main event WrestleMania. I'm talking when I talking about main event, I'm talking about the last match. Okay. Now, of course, this was before the 2-night thing, but you know, in terms of WrestleMania, Rey Mysterio didn't main event when he won the Rumble. Undertaker didn't main event WrestleMania when he won the Rumble. Yeah, Undertaker. Okay. Sheamus didn't main event WrestleMania when he won the Royal Rumble. Trying to think of who the others were. There were a couple others too, but getting the point is the person who wins the Royal Rumble is not guaranteed the main event. I mean, obviously the women know that, but the men have gone through that as well too. So the idea that Jey Uso wins the Royal Rumble and they're not putting him in the main event of either one of the nights against Gunther tells you all you need to know about this being the wrong decision for him to win the Royal Rumble. If you don't want... Here's my opinion on it, okay? I have always been a firm believer that the person who wins the Royal Rumble should be unequivocally main eventing WrestleMania. It's been always my thing. Now, of course, WWE and Vince McMahon ruined this by, not honoring that anymore, like, for a long time. They started bringing it back for a while. But again, during that ruthless aggression into in the early PG era, A lot of those Rumble winners weren't the, last match of WrestleMania. So it's not a big shock to me. But honestly, looking at the build already of Jey Uso and Gunther, I'm not impressed. I am not impressed. Like, when they did that promo on Raw, I was just like, yeah, Gunther's right. Gunther is right. I just beat this guy on Saturday night's main event. Like, now I gotta wrestle again at WrestleMania instead of versing a guy that I could beat that could elevate me. Like, I'm sorry, it's not a believable story. It's not. Jay's gonna have to really do something. He's really gonna have to do something to make people believe in this storyline, because there's really nothing there. Okay? And when you see and again, this is not a knock on the new guys, but this is, looking at the roster right now, it's like, how are you going to tell me that that's going to be better than anything CM Punk does? Even though I'm not a big fan of Roman Reigns, how are you going to tell me that Jey Uso's match is going to do anything better than what Roman's going to do? Assuming that this injury is not, a real injury and it's just a kayfabe injury. I mean, everyone is under the belief it is, but you get the point. How are you going to make everyone convinced that that's going to be better than whatever Cody does, who is the main champion, is the main WWE World Champion? Okay. How are you going to make people believe that Jey Uso is more credible than the current roster, than the current main tier stars right now? I just don't see it. And putting these guys in a triple threat on a match that's going to probably be beneath Gunther and Jey Uso is ridiculous. And for all those people that, because it's come to my attention that Dave Meltzer made a proclaim that WWE can just do whatever they want, and people will be interested in this. May I remind you, last year, because Dave said this, which was fucking stupid, by the way. May I remind you that last year, Cody Rhodes got the main event of WrestleMania because The Rock tried to insert himself into the main event just because, and they thought everybody would be on board for it, and yet the fans revolted about it, and they pivoted back to Cody. Okay? Trust me when I say this. Just because they got $1 billion from Netflix to have Raw, and just because they're on, premier live events instead of pay-per-views, I still call them pay-per-views, but they're technically premier live events now. But just because they're on those premier live events, where they get the money based on ad revenue now, not necessarily pay-per-view buy rate, does not mean that it doesn't matter. It does not mean it doesn't matter, because if people are not interested in the product and don't go and they revolt, like Vince McMahon made the fans do for freaking 10 years, okay, because they kept jacking off to Roman Reigns for 6, okay, doesn't mean, I mean like the babyface whole thing, right? The John Cena syndrome. But doesn't mean that it doesn't matter. Because if people aren't interested in it, they're not going to go there. And if they don't go there, then guess what? You're losing the interest, plus the merchandise sales will go down. Okay? So yes, it does matter. It does matter what the audience wants. Okay? It does matter. Okay? So yes, if this match between Jey Uso and Gunther doesn't work out, it is going to be a reflection of Triple H. And it is going to be a reflection of the product. Okay, this isn't Vince McMahon anymore. This isn't Vince, who's fickled and just wants it his way. And if you don't like it, then, he's going to continue doing it anyways. That we're not in that livelihood anymore. We're not in that anymore. We are in an era where we are open to seeing guys that the fans actually want to be in that spot. Okay? We are in that moment now. So the idea of them doing CM Punk, Seth, and Roman makes no sense. Okay? John Cena is not winning the Elimination Chamber. It would be catastrophic if they went with John Cena, who's literally not showing up to any Raw leading up to Elimination Chamber. He claimed that he wants to earn his spot of being the champion, but yet he doesn't qualify for the Elimination Chamber. He just automatically gets a free pass. Ain't no way John Cena's winning this, okay? I'm sorry. He is not winning it. You cannot see him because he ain't winning it. Okay? He's not winning it. Okay? It's gonna be CM Punk. Punk makes the most sense. That stare down with Cody, even though it should have been at the Rumble. That whole stare down, that whole thing, that year build, that is what needs to be the match. John Cena, he's too babyfacious to go up against Cody right now. It would be a catastrophic mistake. Especially also the idea if John Cena's going to be gone the next day. John Cena's gone the next day, you know, if he wins the title from Cody. Also, it would hurt Cody's momentum if they had Cody lose to John Cena. Okay? And, you know, then John's gone for the next couple of months. You know, it's just, it makes no sense. If they're going to have Cena win the title, because Cena is going to be around until this year's December. That's what he said. He said he's going to do it one more year until December. There's no December pay-per-view anymore. So, John Cena can win the title later on after WrestleMania. He could literally win it in December, or win it at Survivor Series, I guess, since that's the last November pay-per-view. Could win it there, and then that could be his retirement match. Why do people not see this? That this would make more logical sense is if John Cena won it at Survivor Series, where it's the last pay-per-view before the end of the year. That would make more logical sense for John Cena to win the title. Hell, I've even thought of something that's I seen somebody on social media. I don't know who it was, but someone on social media, I saw someone do it. Since TNA has a relationship with WWE, why not John Cena win the TNA World Title? I guess since they have a relationship with one another, I guess TNA's title would now count in WWE's canon, right? Because they're now in a working relationship, right? TNA and WWE, which I thought I would never fucking say, because TNA is like, you know, TNA tried to like compete with WWE for years, and now they actually want to do business with them, and WWE wants to do business with them. So maybe John Cena's 17th world title isn't one of the two WWE titles, the two WWE world titles, but in fact is actually the TNA world title. How about that? I just thought of a bunch of storytellings for you at that point. Point being is CM Punk is winning this, okay? Now, where does this leave Roman and Seth? Well, it leaves it exactly where you think. Roman and Seth will face each other at WrestleMania one-on-one. Okay? That's what's going to happen. As a matter of fact, I kind of think I know what they're going to do at Chamber. I think because Seth is going to qualify. We know Seth Rollins is qualifying for the Chamber. Okay, he's going to win his qualifying match next week or whenever they announce it. Okay, Seth Rollins qualifies. Roman Reigns is out of the picture because he's injured or whatever. And assuming that this is a worked injury, what I think they're going to do is they're going to have Roman interfere in the match and cost Seth Rollins the Chamber. That's what I think is going to happen, and that's going to lead to Punk winning. I don't know. I'm trying to still come up with ways of how John Cena is going to get eliminated. I'm thinking that John Cena is going to lose because of Logan Paul, because that's who I think John Cena's facing. I think John Cena is going to face Logan Paul, because that was one of the rumored opponents that he was going to go up against, and I think they're going to do something similar to what Logan Paul did to Randy Orton. Okay, a couple years ago, Randy Orton, he got eliminated by Logan Paul after Logan Paul got eliminated by Orton because he came back into the chamber and he beat the crap out of him or whatever. I think that's what's going to happen to John Cena. John Cena's going to eliminate Logan Paul, and Logan Paul is going to come back in, he's going to come back in, and he's going to, attack him, and that's going to lead to Cena getting eliminated. That's what I think is going to happen, and then we're going to see the same thing with Roman. Roman is going to go after Seth because he, gave him the double stomp at the Rumble after he was eliminated. And then Punk's going to capitalize, and he's going to win, and he's going to win the chamber. That's how I see this shit happening. That's how I see it going down. That to me makes the more sense of how they go with this for Punk. Since while Punk is a babyface, but he kind of acts like a heel. You know what I'm saying? Punk's kind of a tweener in that. Like, Punk's a babyface that the fans cheer for, but he does heelish stuff. Like he did with Sami Zayn, for example. Like, he was, talking trash to Sami Zayn throughout the match or whatever, saying that he was not on his level or whatever. That's a heelish thing that Punk's doing. But Punk's a babyface because he's being cheered by the fans. Okay? Like, he's kind of a tweener baby. He's a tweener babyface. He's kind of like Austin right now. That's kind of what they're going with Punk. Is he's not a heel, but he does a lot of heelish stuff. He's really a tweener. He's really a tweener, but he's a babyface because he's cheered. But that's what they're doing with Punk. So that's another thing too. Punk might also do some underhanded stuff in the chamber, since it is a no disqualification match, right? So he might even do some underhanded stuff so he can get in a row. And you know what? That's another thing too. Since Roman isn't in this match, since Roman technically won't be in this match, Paul Heyman's favor for Punk could be that he actually assists him in the match. I don't know. There's a lot of different things, but I don't think. It would be crazy if Cena won. It would be crazy if they went with that, especially if he's filming, You just can't do it. I cannot do it. Cannot do it. And again, Cena didn't earn his spot, which pisses me off. People are saying, well, he was filming, so they couldn't do that. You're telling me they couldn't get Carmelo Hayes out there, who's already basically jobbing to people anyways? You couldn't bring Carmelo Hayes out there and just have him be in a quick squash match with John Cena, just so John Cena could just say that he won a qualifying match, just to make it at least look legit. Carmelo Hayes or any of the, the lower card tier wrestlers. You could have Cena in a quick squash match where he wins quickly, and just so you can say that he earned it. You're really telling me he couldn't do that? You're really telling me he couldn't do that? That again, it's so contradictory to John Cena's character, especially what he said on the press conference. It's so contradictory to what he is saying, but yet at the same time he doesn't want to earn his spot in the chamber. You know what I'm saying? But no, this bullshit rumor is not true. I don't think it's true. And I'll just say this. I think if it is true and this turns out to be what they end up doing, I think Triple H needs to be touched down a notch on my Booker guy right now, because I just don't see how doing a triple threat not for the title makes any sense booking wise in this situation. It would make more sense if Roman and Seth feuded, because Seth and Punk already feuded on the Raw debut of Netflix. Okay, so they already had their one-on-one match. So what would benefit Punk to going in a triple threat with Seth and Roman? If they were gonna do it, it would have made more sense for Roman and Punk to just be one-on-one. But to do Punk, Roman, and Seth all in one in a triple threat makes no goddamn sense. It would be such a waste for WrestleMania when you got Cody and Punk literally at the footsteps here. So that's what I think is going to happen here. I think it's going to be, I still maintain it's going to be Punk and Cody. I don't know if Punk will win against Cody, but I think it's going to be Punk and Cody Rhodes. That's my take on this. Let me know what you guys think. Comment, rate, if you like this video, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell for those contents. Thank you. And that's about it. I am the S Ultimate Goku. I'm out of here. Peace.